It's now law. California's blueprint to seize millions of homes, leaving modern women homeless.
Jay here, back with another one for you. So once again, guys, these modern chicks are broke AF, dude. Guys, these chicks are cooked. They have student loans, right? High interest car loans. You know what I mean? Credit card debt, inflation. You know what I mean? Jobs. They don't pay anything. Not careers, guys. Jobs.
John here. Millions and millions of homeowners, property owners, and investors will soon lose their buildings and their life's work inside of the state of California due to a new set of laws that are now being worked on. In Los Angeles, for example, they're working to pass a new law which will give tenant attorneys a $5 million per month budget to go after landlords. $5 million a month.
It's now law. California's blueprint to seize millions of homes is official, and it is absolutely horrible. A lot of people who own homes are going to be losing their homes, and we can end up seeing a lot of women also ending up homeless as a result of what's going to be happening here. Guys, this is insane stuff. As a result, California continues to crash and burn. Watch the end of the video to understand how this new law will affect not just the lives of people who are currently renting, but also the lives of women, single mothers, and society. Today's videos are actually brought to us by AJ's Rants and Reactions. His channel is linked in the description so you can check him out. And also, this is John Williams. He's also linked in the description, and you can also go and check him out and support both of those channels. And now, let's go ahead and jump right into the video.
In addition to that, they're working on capping how much a single-family home could legally be rented for, how much apartments could be legally rented for.
Limits on rent increases go into effect in California.
Cities in the southeast region of LA County are enacting rent control measures.
And then also pushing forward a lot of new green energy upgrades for these property owners that can no longer be passed on to a tenant. So the landlord has to absorb the cost on a property in which they can't basically make any money from.
Big changes are coming to solar power in California to update incentives for owners of apartment buildings, schools, and businesses that install solar panels.
Now, when you start to pay attention to how this entire situation is unfolding, they say California homelessness, it's an epidemic. It's a horrible, horrible thing. And I think a lot of people would agree homelessness in California, it's a nightmare for everybody, right? It's a really bad situation that needs to get solved.
Homeless crisis is magnified in the Golden State.
More than 1/4 of all people experiencing homelessness in the United States live in the state of California.
The state had the largest rate of increase in its homeless population in the country.
But their proposed solution is stripping property rights from property owners, not allowing them to evict a tenant that doesn't pay rent, and basically pushing people into these homes. Now, California's proposed a new plan called a master leasing plan, where property owners and landlords, they could avoid some of this headache by simply giving the property to the state of California, and then they maybe get a check at the end of the month.
County, in partnership with LAWS, are going out and actually working with building owners and bringing on units where they are going in the direct relationship with the property owner. And then we are subletting to folks that have formerly experienced homelessness.
But is that actually going to happen? Or if they sign this master lease deal, could these property owners lose their properties? Because who are they going to sue? Are they going to sue the county of Los Angeles over a contract that they have signed with the county of Los Angeles? I mean, this situation it's a disaster. I'm going to break it down for you. I'm going to show you the facts, show you the laws, show you how this whole thing's working. It's even on whitehouse.gov, some of these goals. So I'm going to break it down for you. Please hit the like button, YouTube will share the content, educate more people about what's going on in our crazy country. I mean, this country it's gone crazy the last couple of years. I think the next few years is just going to be unbelievable. If you have any credit issues, late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, any issue at all like that in your credit report, go to greatcreditfast.com. We'd love to help you. You can check out our reviews on Trustpilot as well. Take a look at this. So Gavin Newsom did this publicity stunt, right? It's him, he's cleaning up trash. It looks like under an underpass. You hear the drive-by traffic. You see this shade here, right? Then he pushes out this shopping cart. What this is basically to do is not to tell us that he's doing something, because we all know he's not. What it's there to do is to let us know that they're getting ready for radical change in the state of California, and that's what that video encompasses. Look at this.
Job. She's been a great partner. You're seeing that down 10.4%, over 10% decline in unsheltered homeless population last year.
Over 10% decline is what he's saying. Well, in 2022, according to LA Times, homelessness was 41,980. And in 2024, they said it was 46,260, right? So according to them, the mainstream media, it's actually increased about 5,000. But according to the city of Los Angeles, they're saying that it's at a 6-year low. So they could be right, they could be wrong. I guess we'll see. But look at this plan. This came out yesterday, August 8th. LA's plan to give renters free eviction attorneys as a right moves forward. And this plan, LA's housing department has estimated that a fully funded right to counsel could cost the city $68 million a year. So over $5 million a month, over $5 million a month in just LA. Now, they said in 2023 that it's going to be $68 million. That's what they're going to need per year, right? And this is the path forward. This is what they're going to be moving into, is this $68 million. Now, low-income tenants to receive free attorneys when facing eviction under LA County plan, right? This is July. So now it's moving full steam ahead. Even in Orange County, they're saying what we found in studies is that there's a disparity or a delta of about $300 to $500 that would keep people housed. If we can use the money intelligently, it's 1/10 the cost what we'd spend once somebody is on the street. Now, let's remember, on whitehouse.gov, where you can see the URL right here, whitehouse.gov, May 18th, 2023, they said that they want to reduce homelessness, set a bold goal to reduce homelessness 25% by next year, and ultimately build a country where every person has a safe and affordable home. And they said right here, through the All Inside initiative, the U.S. Interagency Council on Homelessness and its 19 federal members agencies will partner with the state and local governments to strengthen and accelerate local efforts to get unsheltered people into homes in Chicago, Dallas, LA, Phoenix, Metro, Seattle, and the state of California. Now, how are they going to get people inside of homes and reduce homelessness? They're going to be bringing forward on a national level different landlord-tenant laws. You already heard the 5% rent caps and talking about a national rent control. Well, the state of California is the perfect state for this new movement to begin, so it can be pushed to other states. Now, here's how this is going to work. Look at this, April 16th, just a few months ago. April 16th in Santa Monica, they said Santa Monica's Office of Sustainability and the Environment will hold a webinar to further discuss Santa Monica's move towards mandating all electric appliances in all existing residential buildings. Timelines include full electrification with requirements starting as early as this year and many additional ones starting in 2025. We urge all AAGLA members with residential rental properties of any type, including multifamily, single-family, accessory dwelling units, and condominiums in Santa Monica to attend the webinar tomorrow and voice your strong opposition to this extremely costly required transition for property owners and renters to full electrification of existing residential buildings, right? Well, they came out with this. This was I've actually covered this last year. The day it came out, I was covering saying this is going to be coming. And then you have April, it's already happening. But this is what's going to be unfolding in California. It says they'll prohibit property owners subject to the rent stabilization ordinance from passing the cost of decarbonization retrofits onto their tenants. So the landlord has to absorb that cost. Eliminate provisions in the LA Municipal Code that allows landlords to evict tenants in order to renovate their properties. Strengthen enforcement and oversight of existing tenant protection measures. If LA City provides subsidies to landlords for building decarbonization, require enforceable agreements from those landlords to protect tenants from rent increases and evictions. Require that landlords prioritize retrofits that improve.
So basically, guys, what they're doing is they're throwing men out. They're throwing landowners out of. They're throwing people who own properties out onto the street. They're basically taking their properties away, and they're trying to turn these into subsidized housing for women and their children. because we obviously know who are going to be the priority. It's not going to be homeless men. It's going to be women, single mothers, and their children. What the reality of this is that it will just end up it will just end up making it more difficult for women to find affordable housing. What's happening with women in California right now is, and all over the state, all over the country, is more and more women are ending up homeless. They're living in their cars and they cannot survive because women were not designed to live without a husband. The government is no longer able to subsidize the living of women, so they're trying to find creative ways to provide for these women. And one of these ways is to confiscate real estate from people and use it to subsidize the living of women. And who are the people who own most rental property in the United States? Men. All right. So they're trying to seize property from men and then use that to reallocate resources to women in that way. And this is only going to have haphazard effects as more men come up with ways to beat the system. More so, they'll even say, well, you know what? If this is the case, we're not going to rent here. We'll just move out of the state of California. All right? Men will fight tooth and nail. And now this is only going to result in women in more stigmas, more problems, more issues coming up for single mothers, for women in the future when they are trying to rent. Because now you're going to have men who are going to be even more worried of renting to women, especially who are not going to pay the rent, or younger people who are not going to pay the rent.
Hey guys, these chicks are homeless. It's living in the streets, man. We have more homeless women now, like in the history of the United States, and all of them are still out there trying to live this boss babe, boss chick, strong and independent.
I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore.
So guys, we're going to go to the dumpster fire known as TikTok again. Look at some of these homeless chicks. But before we do, guys, like, subscribe, drop a comment.
Something I want to read. I want to read this comment from Truth. He says, "You will all own nothing and be happy, but we will all be happy, right?" So, and this is a part of taxation theft, all part of Agenda 2030. So Agenda 2030 is something I believe from the World Economic Forum. And basically they're trying to say that, we're going to enter into a new reality where wealth and resources will be reallocated fairly among people. And keep in mind, that's so interesting because that's the year, when all of this is supposed to really take off. But that's also the year when 45% of all women will be childless and single in Western society. It's very, very, in the United States, between the ages of 24 and 25 and 44. It's just very interesting that those two numbers, those 2 years, and all of that just seems to coincide.
Keep this channel going. You guys are watching on Crumble. Head over to my YouTube. If you're on YouTube, guys, I have a whole playlist of videos talking about how these chicks are homeless, how they're living in their cars, etc. Guys, check out my second channel links in the description and my locals, and let's get into this.
The funny thing about being freshly on the street homeless is that while I'm carrying all this shit and I've been wearing the same clothes for 4 days, I am not yet disheveled enough to be immediately clocked as homeless. So inside people still try to commiserate with me. Like we're on the same page. Like last night I was sitting outside QT, right? Just like taking a break from all the fucking walking. My feet hurt so bad. Anyway, so I was sitting outside QT, just like playing on TikTok, waiting to like go in and get a hot dog. Which, by the way, this is the only QT in Greenville, I think. There might be one other one that doesn't have picnic benches or tables. All the restaurants on this block have locks on the bathrooms. I've seen this shit nowhere else in Greenville.
Gee, I wonder why. It's probably because there's homeless people, right?
Security guard comes out to me and he's like, "We actually have a no loitering policy. So what? Are you just waiting for a ride, waiting for the bus? What you doing?" I'm like, "No, just getting up the gumption to come inside." He's like, "Yeah, well, there are a lot of homeless people around here. They like to camp out in this spot, so we just like to keep people from sitting around." And I'm just like, okay.
Okay, as you're a homeless person that was sitting in that spot, okay. As if that security guard didn't know what he was doing.
These two kids came up to me and asked me to help them film their TikTok. I'm sitting outside the library, and one of them's like, "So, are you just out here meditating, or?" I just pretended I didn't hear him. I take back what I said about talking to people. I don't think I'm going to be doing that anymore. Day 1 out here, I think, was a fluke. Or day 2, the meaningful conversations I had were with women. There are no fucking women out here anymore. Like, it was a majority men the first couple days, but now it is fucking just men. There are like a couple of women, but I'm the only one my age. So
Is she just shocked that most of the homeless people are men, right? Look at that.
just getting approached constantly. There's no rest. There's no respite. There's no solitude. And like, I like people, but not all the fucking time. And all these men want, all any of them want, is to fucking hit on me. And I'm running out.
Okay, yeah, right.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked.
See, guys, do you hear this nonsense? Leave us alone. Don't speak to us. So she's homeless. She's been wearing the same clothes for 4 days. She is destitute, and she is still picking on men. She is still claiming that everywhere she goes, every man is trying to hit on her and wants a relationship with her. Yeah. Even though these stories where a security guard came and told you to ask you, hey, you got to leave, or a group of kids ask you to help them film a TikTok. Why are all these men bothering me? Guys, I told you a story where this guy was doing these interviews with homeless people, and he went into a storm drain that was on the ground that people were living in, and there was a homeless woman in there. And it's a dangerous place, but he got permission to go in because you could get control alt deleted in there. So he needs to be on his best behavior. And he went in there and he found a homeless woman in there. Let's just call her Felicia. And he started interviewing her, and she started talking BS about, she was like her late 50s or 60s. And she started talking jazz that the reason why she's homeless is because she still hasn't found her Prince Charming yet, and she's not going to settle for just any brokey, because she knows her value. And this dude absolutely flipped out on her. It was a white dude. He absolutely flipped out on Felicia. It was a white chick, and he flipped out on her, and he went ballistic. And he said, "Are you out of your mind?" He said, "Felicia, are you crazy?" And she's like, "No, I'm not crazy. I have my standards." He's like, "You live in a storm drain. We are in the sewers right now. There are rats and roaches everywhere. I'm not going to settle." This was literally their interaction. And she began crying and sobbing loudly as he berated her for having these insane standards that she would not accept, that she would not accept any guy unless he was 6'6", at least 6 feet tall, had a six-pack, made above six figures, and then some, because she knows her worth. Holy cow. And here you have, guys, this is the modern day face of the empowered woman. Let's not say feminism. I'm not blaming feminism for anything that's happened. No, we're talking about the modern day empowered woman who chose these decisions. All right. So, guys, this is what the future is going to look like for a lot of women. A lot of destitution, a lot of homelessness, a lot of poverty, because men are not going to be out there to subsidize their living anymore. And as men are losing their properties to rental scams, and the state's trying to confiscate their properties, these men are just going to start saying, "Okay, yeah, time to get out of California. I'm going to sell these properties, or I'm not going to, or if I do rent, I'm going to do like an Airbnb kind of thing or something else, but I'm going to avoid renting, and I'm definitely going to avoid renting to single mothers who could turn around and use the system against me to have my property confiscated so that they can then have it, so that the state can basically take it." Yeah, this is craziness. All right. So you're gonna have more property owners saying that they refuse to rent to single moms or even rent to women that can use the system to have their property seized, and then they could basically live in it for free. This is crazy stuff. This is absolutely crazy. Box says real estate isn't even a smart investment, isn't even smart to invest in anymore because the taxes are so communist. To be very honest, it really depends on where you invest. You really do have to have something, but I would say land is a very good investment, but real estate is a hard one. It depends on where you invest in real estate, because at this point, the value of the dollar is declining so rapidly that it doesn't make sense anymore. And a lot of these houses are costing so much. These properties are costing so much that it's insane. It is insane how much these properties are costing. This guy brought a property in 1969 for $20,000 when the average income was $9,600 a month a year for the middle class. And now in 2024, the property is worth $3 million. All right. Even though the average earned income for people in the US is like $50,000. Like, make that make sense. So if we were going to use that math, we're going to go by that math, then the average home right now should be around $100,000, all right, or just a little over $100,000, but that's not the case. Okay, now the average home is 1,000 times is more than 1,000 times what 1,000 times what it used to cost. Like, it's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And that's the reason why so many people are walking away. I mean, yeah, True says NYC commercial real estate is a Ponzi scheme. Lol, that will definitely crash. Guys, it's gonna crash. It's going New York City real estate, California real estate, even like San Diego, LA real estate. It's a complete and utter Ponzi scheme. All right? Like, yo, I grew up in New York, and there used to be places like in a little place called Brooklyn where Jay-Z, I think Jay-Z was from Brooklyn. Like, a lot of these rappers came from, and there used to be bad places like Bushwick. Like, that's you probably don't know about this, but there used to be like these bad neighborhoods, like places called Bushwick, where like no one used to live there. It was a terrible place. Now it's because of gentrification. All of the yuppies are there, and you can a property that would cost, no one even wanted these properties. They were condemned back in the 90s. Now they're selling for millions of dollars in Bushwick. You've got to be freaking kidding me. Guys, it is such a Ponzi scheme. All right. And then when all of these people start to run away and flee the cities and flee the neighborhoods because they don't have money anymore, and they begin dumping these properties, they're going to go down to, they're going to start, the value of these properties is going to fall rapidly. And people who invested in these properties, like, oh my gosh, this is a good investment. I can do whatever I want. Now I'm going to make, they're going to be screwed. Guys, there is a massive real estate crash coming. All right. And God help us, the boomers are the ones who own most of the property anyway. So God help us, they experience some of the things that other generations have been experiencing for so damn long, because it is so sick. It is 100% sick what we are witnessing. All right. These people need to be held accountable. Shout out to Hans, and he says, "What's up, Angry? 20 minutes into the live stream. Shout out. Corey says, I'm now in Europe. Good for you, dude. Don't come back. It's a nightmare in Western society. Amtrue says that the housing market will crash and reset sooner than later. Absolutely. Father Saunders says, my own divorce lawyer, and I quote, every time it has come down to he said, she said, never once has it worked out for the man. Guys, like this, guys, it's over. The future for women is destitution, homelessness, poverty, hardship, because of what they've done in Western society, the choices they've made, believing that they would be able to live off the state forever or have men subsidize their living. But the state is broke. The government cannot pay interest rates on all of the $35 trillion in debt that it has. And they're trying to run up inflation to make the value of the debt go down. But regardless of doing this, people are not beginning to earn more money. So that scheme isn't working out for them so well. It's just leading to mass poverty, increased poverty. There's no more middle class. The middle class is gone. And then on top of it, now they're talking about automatic draft registrations and starting up the draft, not because we need people not because we're going to war, but because we don't have enough people to hold down the military anymore. The military is at its breaking point. People in the military are extremely overworked at this point, and so they may need to institute a draft immediately to begin recruiting people, drafting people. And they also need the best and brightest minds in Silicon Valley. I saw some very stupid stuff from someone. I saw a comment from someone. I don't want to be insulting, and they were like, "Oh, what they need to do is to get these people from Silicon Valley, that like offer them incentives, like they'll pay for their education." If these people are already working in Silicon Valley, why would they give a damn about their education? What, they want to go and earn a PhD when they're making $200,000 a year? Why would they go in? It doesn't make any that makes no sense. All right, so they can go work for a university? They're gonna leave their jobs in Silicon Valley making $200K or $500K or $1 million a year to go and join the military and receive a starting pay of not even $20,000 a year, or barely $20,000 a year. That doesn't make any damn sense. That makes no sense at all. Like, the government is broke. The government, our country can no longer protect itself. Not only can it not protect itself, you had this idiot like, we do not need boots on the ground. They're warning us, all right? They are warning us that not only can we not protect ourselves, the military does more than deal with protection. They also deal with crises, getting food and supplies in terms of, in situations where there's a natural disaster, any kind of disaster, addressing, repairing infrastructure, quickly addressing infrastructure when they need manpower and there's no people. Even going to other countries, rapidly going to other countries when something happens and addressing issues in those countries. All right. And it's not just fighting wars. It's literally like providing immediate aid. You need to send sometimes tens of thousands of soldiers. We don't have these people anymore. We don't have these people to help us. We don't have these people to help other countries. We are absolutely screwed. And so they're saying that they're looking right now to pass a law that will automatically register both Gen Z men and women for the draft. It'll be between the ages of 18 and 26, I believe. And so they'll automatically be registered for the draft. And then keep in mind, 77% of Gen Zers are disqualified from serving in the draft. Those were the numbers from 2020, conducted from a study conducted between 2017 and 2019, released in 2020. 77% of Gen Zers were already unfit to serve, were unqualified to serve in the military because of mental health issues, mental incompetence, obesity, or substance abuse. And we're in 2020 now, so it's like 100% of them, or close to 100% of them. 91% of Gen Zers have reported that they have a mental illness, and 25% of Gen Zers have a long-term mental illness that very well may render them disabled, meaning they cannot do anything in society. They can go and basically file for disability and live off the state. So about a quarter of Gen Zers are basically done. Like, you can't even do anything with them. Like, forget about it. They're done with they are done with society. They're a danger to themselves and society, possibly because of their mental illness is that bad. They can just go and file for disability and call it a wrap. And then 77% of them are not even legal, cannot even legally serve, but it may be as high as 80 to 90% now. And again, 91% of them report that they are mentally ill. 91% of Gen Zers report that they are mentally ill. 91%, y'all. This is crazy stuff. So they're gonna be coming for millennials and Gen Xers. A lot of Gen Xers are like, if they mess around and find out, I've already done my tour, they better not knock on my door. But guys, it's literally gonna be something out of Three's Company. Nama knock on my door. We've been waiting for you. Guys, they think that you guys, listen to me. They already know how y'all operate because some of these people are Gen Xers themselves. So they know not to come knocking on your door. So they'll learn your whereabouts, where you work. They'll come to your job and make a scene at your job, try to gossip. They'll get you to lose. They'll cause you to lose your job, and then after they cause you to lose your job, they're like, "Listen, we have a contract right here for you. You're gonna end up homeless if you don't take this contract. All right, and we're gonna keep on doing this. We're gonna keep on ruining your life. We're gonna mess your life up if you don't come and work for us. All right." Listen, we just want 20 years, all right? Just give us 20 years, all right? Give us 20 years of your life. And you're like, I'm 47 years old. Yeah, like I said, 20 years of your life, man. You'll be out by 60. You'll be out by 67 or 75. But just give us 20 years. 20 years minimum, and we'll be all right. We'll be good. guys, that's what's that like? What's that movie like 12 Years a Slave? Bro, this is some really nasty stuff that's going on. Really nasty stuff. And as a result, women are going to find themselves, single, divorced, single, alone, unable to utilize the government to subsidize their living, unable to find a man to subsidize their living. As a result, more of them are finding themselves homeless, in poverty, living in shelters. And of course, and then they still have attitudes like this to talk crap.
Yeah, sure, there's tons of guys hitting on her.
Out of creative ways to tell them to fuck off. I'm just gonna start swinging next time. Don't worry, I'm also getting a taste of the dehumanization. I've been operating under this false assumption that I wouldn't get harassed in businesses if I, made a purchase. Nah, because I ate in Hardee's yesterday.
Notice how nasty and unhumble they are. She's literally gonna start putting her hands on men for just speaking to her. Guys, this is unbelievable stuff. And then you wonder why men are walking away from society, isolating themselves at home, isolating themselves from relationships, dating, society, and choosing to stay home, play video games, watch TV, and just chill. And yes, not everyone's playing video games. A lot of these guys are just chilling at home and enjoying their freaking peace. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the content, consider checking out and subscribing to our newsletter for my personal thoughts, insights, and a free copy of my ebook, the blueprint for escaping the rat race. Click the link in description to get your free copy. What do you guys think regarding all of this? I want to know your thoughts on this. It's now law. California blueprint is to seize millions of homes that will ultimately leave millions of women homeless in the state. Let me know your thoughts on this, and we'll talk about it in the comments because I want to hear what you guys have to say regarding it. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.